them? This person looks like they could be amazing. What have you been talking to them about? Are you doing coaching calls with them? Let's get on a 3-way call. What are you saying? Figure out what your level 1 is saying and doing with their people.
Here's another secret. Are you Facebook stalking every new join that comes into your team? If I get you got new join level 4, her name is Sally Boss, I'm going to Sally's Facebook page and I'm like, is she adding value to people? Let me see what kind of engagement does she get? I'm looking at things that are criteria and I'm going, ooh, potential message to my level 1, probably my level 2. Like, y'all, tell me about this girl. How you know her? Y'all, listen, what's she think about the business? Here's what I'm always looking for. I'm like, oh my gosh, have you shared the opportunity? Listen, I'm not looking for what Sally Boss thinks about the opportunity. I'm looking to see, did my level 1 and level 2 share the opportunity? And if so, how'd it go? What are her objections? You know what I find a lot of the times? I'm going to, I just haven't yet. So I'm finding things immediately that need to be addressed deeper up that I wouldn't have even known about that level 4 if I wasn't doing some recon.
Because we can get comfortable and expect that our level 1 rock stars know what they're doing. They're the experts. I don't need to really help them or work with them anymore, right? They got it all down, and now I just got to develop my new people. But if you work with them and ask those kind of questions, you find out, oh, they didn't. Everyone's still learning. I'm still learning, right? So they can do some things to improve or do some things differently, but you need to dig deeper and ask those questions. Some things that I do too is looking deeper at, does your level 2, does your level 3, do they have leaders? Do they have more than one? Are things duplicating? You go past your level 1 and help them create those leaders, right? And you do that through 3-way calls a lot of times, your initial 3-way call. You help them set up coaching calls. You have to handhold a bit and not just assume that they're going to take care of their team and develop leaders on their own.
And I'll handhold my level 1, hey, I noticed that so-and-so had a join. When are y'all getting on the phone for your welcome call? Yeah. Or my level 1 guy said, hey, when do I get to talk to her?
So when you dig deeper in your organization, you're going to look at each leg separately. You're going to grab your level 1. You're going to look deeper. Are silvers being created? Rank ups, new workers, what's going on? How deep is the duplication happening? Where does it stop? Why is it stopping at this point? Is there not a leader there working? Maybe there is, but they have all wholesalers. So my first question is going to be, is she reaching out about the business or just products? Is she talking about the business when she joins somebody? How is she talking about it? Oh, she's not talking about it? All these things, I'm not doing all the work that deep down. I'm only talking to my level 1. So I'm covering this all on coaching calls, talking to my level 1. If she doesn't know the answer, she's going to talk to her level 1 and ask that question. And a lot of times I find that out too. Oh, I don't know the answer. I need to go ask that, right? So again, that's teaching and modeling.
Brittany taught me very early on to ask questions and look for I don't knows. Oh, hey, I noticed that you had a join last month. How's Sally doing on her products? If my level 1 doesn't know, it's an indicator they're not following their retention system. So looking for those I don't knows. They won't know to volunteer information to things that they don't know, right? And I think it's important, guys, if you're here today and you're like, well, this would be all well and good if I had a leader. Anybody feel like, man, I just may or may not even have any leaders? Or the ones I have, man, the more they describe what leaders don't look like, that's what I've been dragging. Guys, it's okay. When I came as a Ruby and a senior Ruby, none of my leaders were here. None. Not a single person that you see in this room on my team was around when I was a Ruby or a senior Ruby. It's okay. Go become excellent so that you can attract excellent.
100%. Yes. Be specific in your questions, because if you just assume and ask something super broad and you don't get to dig deeper, you're missing everything. So, for example, like looking for what is not being said. So, are you doing calls? Okay, great. Awesome. My people are doing calls.
Right.
How are those calls going? What's being said? What's being not said? How often are they being done? All the things. Ask. My people probably get sick of me asking very specific questions. Okay, so who are your leaders? I want you guys to take a piece of paper that you have in front of you and write down all of your level 1 strong leaders. This is your top 20%. These are your all-in people. Write them down. Separate. Give some space in between each one.
If you don't have anyone to write down, write your own name.
Mm-hmm.
You are your top 20%.
And if you have someone that you're like, well, dragging them. If you have not done everything that you need to do as a leader to get them all in first, write their name down, and that's going to be your task to connect with them. After that, I want you to write down underneath each person who are their all-in leaders and put it like in a line. So how many, do they have just one? Do they have two? What do they have? And put that under them. If they don't have any, that's your goal, to help them create a leader. Put a blank square or a space, because that's what you're going to be doing. That's your goal this next month. You need to help them fill in those names. Put three blanks down. If they have one, and then underneath that one, they have one, and underneath that one, they have one, you have a runaway leg. You need to help them have balance and create more. So just create your own tree there for your downline, and see where the gaps are, and see where you need to help your people create leaders.
Guys, it's so important for them to have leaders on their team. Think about them holding like a pail of water. They can do that for a certain amount of time. And they can be excited about holding their water with you. They can see you holding water. But guys, eventually what happens with that water? It gets really heavy. And if you can create them one leader, they can hold it a little bit longer. And then eventually you're going to help them create another leader, and it's going to be held even longer. So when you say, I just wish people would stop quitting, guys, they're tired. Their arms are tired. Show them that there are people who will help them hold their water.
100%. So you're going to duplicate yourself. You got to the rank that you are at right now. You can help someone else get to the rank that you are at right now. So this goes back to what Christina said. If you don't have somebody here with you, that's okay, because you did it, so you can help someone else do it. And you're going to do it again and again and again.
Yep, I think we don't spend enough time talking about that. I think we look at Diamond and we think, I'm only a Ruby. I'm only at 500 points. How will I ever get to 4,500? Guys, what if you helped one person go Ruby? Well, now you're in the 1,000-point club. And you helped another one go Ruby, guess what you just became? An Emerald. Sometimes we yes. And we muddy it. And really, it's just a matter of duplicating what you've already done. It doesn't matter if you've already been a diamond. You've already been a ruby, or you've already been a gold, or you've already been a senior gold. Focus on helping someone just do what you've already done. That takes away all the unknown. That takes away all the fear of what's to come. You've already walked it. So don't worry about what's up ahead. Just worry about helping somebody walk the same path you've already walked, like they did for us on the mountain. They already drove it. They were able to help us drive it. So focus on that. If you will just focus on doing that, your points will move forward. Sorry, I keep going off your notes. I'm sorry.
No, that's what you're supposed to do, girl. Okay. All right. Where are we in 10? Oh, good. I was thinking I had like really running out. Okay. So, asking your leaders questions, digging deeper. I think I went off notes a long time ago and really went deep in that. So I don't need to go over a lot of this again, but you're empowering your people. You're asking questions down to your level 1, then to your level 2, then your level 3, all to your level 1. So ask those specific questions. An example that I had, I can't remember if I went into detail on this. So if they are not doing coaching calls and they say, yes, I'm doing coaching calls, great job. So one thing that I would do to dig deeper, I wouldn't say, okay, I would say, great, how often? How are you doing with them? What about Mary? She isn't signing up. Why isn't she signing up? Have you asked her? Maybe you need to get on the phone and talk to her about it. Have you cast a big enough vision and belief to match the expectations? How did that last coaching call go with Susie? Oh, she isn't doing book club. What did you say? Did you encourage her? Good. Did you ask her why she is not doing it? Any example, right? So whatever she's not doing, did you ask her why she's not doing this?
Here's a good question when it comes to creating leaders who create leaders. Hey, tell me about your IPA. And they'll tell you. Great, how many of those were conversations about the opportunity? What you'll find is people who are real comfortable sharing the product and people who need some really strong belief in sharing the opportunity. But you won't know if you don't ask. How many of those conversations were about the opportunity specifically? How did it go? What did they say? Oh, girl, that is totally a normal objection. How do you plan to follow that up? What are you doing to keep track of that? Because listen, she's the dream team, but we want to make sure we keep track of that.
And you do that on getting on three-way calls a lot, right? So some of you guys are really great at that. If you don't do a three-way call with every single join that comes in, That is an action step that you can start taking immediately.
Yep. And you won't have to do it forever, because what will happen is you will grow to be a jewel, a sapphire, a diamond, whatever, and you'll have leaders who are doing it. So this isn't forever, this is for now. It's killing two birds with one stone. You're casting vision to the new join, taprooting, and training your level 1 on how to do the same thing. So it's a 2 for 1. It's really worth your time.
If your level 1 doesn't know how to, or is nervous about doing a 3-way call with a new join and casting vision, it's because they probably haven't seen you do it with them enough. You're not doing it yourself with them, right? So start by being the leader with that. You might just need to do it so that they can learn from you and feel more confident and hear you do it 100 times. And then they're going to be doing it, and they're going to get more comfortable with it, and then their people are going to do it. So if you are doing these with every single, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a wholesaler who you've just made a connection with, and it's going to help with retention, and you can connect to your 3-way chat. It was great to talk to you. You talked about something personal. You made a connection, right? It's not just about plexus. You cast a little bit of vision and planted some seeds, and they're not ready, but that's okay. You are going to have great retention or improved retention because you're connecting with people. On the other hand, you are finding those people who want to work. You're not going to find those people who want to work without casting that big vision and having that third-party validation.
Yeah, 3 questions to start a 3-way call with. Tell me where you live. What do you do for a living? What do you love about it? Brittany had to tell me those because I would just go straight to plexus. She's like, that you suck at connecting with people. I'm like, okay, how do I unsuck? She's like, ask 3 questions. Ask 3 questions. Tell me where you live. What do you do for a living? What do you love about it?
So we're going to wrap up and give you a few, I don't know what I'm going to say. Okay, I was like, did I have action steps here? All right, you're taking ownership and you're being intentional. So you're doing new things. If you're not confident or makes you uncomfortable, check your mindset. Develop your skill set. Example would be to watch, Brittany has a 3-way call video. If you don't feel comfortable, watch the videos. If your upline's not doing it with you and you ask them to, that's okay, no excuses. Go figure it out.
Yep. What to say about the business on a 3-way call is the name of her video. And listen, then go make a video for your team about what to say on 3-way calls so that it's relevant. Y'all listen, y'all watch our training videos and you think we're smart. We copied the information from someone else.
Almost every time. Developing leaders does not happen by accident. Developing leaders does not happen by accident. If you are thinking it's just going to happen and someone's going to follow you, it's not. Be purposeful, be intentional. And as always with all these trainings, think about what you can implement and put into action immediately and do it. Otherwise, it's not going to matter.
Exactly. So knowing what you know now, how will May calendars look different than April's? How will your May calendar be different?